Listen up! You can get the new iPhone 16e with Apple Intelligence for just $49.99 when you switch to Boost Mobile. We pulled so many all-nighters to give you this deal, and hey, stop messing with the mic!
I'm just helping us catch people's attention. This is a great deal!
Exactly, so it doesn't need all that.
Fine.
Head to your nearest Boost Mobile store right now.
Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store for full offer details. Apple Intelligence requires iOS 18.1 or later. Restrictions apply.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Oh, hot, 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 hot! Hot, 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 hot!
Hot topic. Hello and welcome to the Neuro Spicy News. Hot topic.
Hot, 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 feeling hot, hot, hot.
Well, I mean, it is hot. It's a heat wave again.
Island in the sun. Yes, it's scorching, isn't it? I am stuck to my chair.
I've got a fan. It's not on Facebook, but a
I was
real
about to
one.
say, oh, you got a little fan club going.
No,
That's nice.
It's one of those big industrial fans that's just like keeping me from melting. But yeah, this week's hot topic, we are talking about conservation and the link between neurodivergent people and the hyperfocus of their special interests and how it can help save the planet, I think. Well, we can try anyway.
We
can
need
try
all the help we can get.
Yeah, it's on fire.
Hence the fan.
Yeah, hence the fan. Yeah, exactly. So luckily for us, we are joined by a marine biology degree person who is my baby girl.
Science.
Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
So, this interest comes from an article. It's all about biodiversity. Okay, and it says intrinsically connected: how human neurodiversity could help save nature, which obviously piqued my interest because I love nature. It's a big part of my photography. And I love to show the world how beautiful nature is. So maybe people will be kinder to it, I guess. That's about as much as I can do. But apart from that, I've always brought up my kids to love their surroundings, take care of the earth, and be good to the creatures.
Great and small.
Mother Nature's little creatures. Except wasps because they're dicks.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of a wasp. The only animal that are bug, insect, however you want to call it, that I am not a fan of.
Yeah, we still need them though.
Annoyingly, we do need them. If we
do
didn't need them,
wasps.
get out of here. But unfortunately, we do.
But yeah, I mean, bees at least sacrifice themselves. Wasps are just sting you because they're dicks. But anyway, let's move on to the article.
I've just got the image of like a bee like looking at a little photo of its family as it just goes.
Yeah, bees are kamikaze.
For the queen.
And wasps are just like,
on.
fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, they're literally shanking you just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Nature's bastards. Moving on.
Right. So when conservationist Joe Harkness received a message from a friend about macerating moth abdomens.
Oh yeah, we're going down that route.
Yeah, deep into the tism. to check their genitalia to identify the species.
It sparked
it sparked the idea for a new book about wildlife obsessions. But over time, this developed into a completely different book, a clarion call to embrace neurodiversity and the fight against the extinction crisis. And it's not our extinction. It is the extinction of all the animals that we destroy just by being alive, just by being human. So his idea is that neurodiversity, meaning all brain types, not neurodivergent people alone, neurodivergent people, neurotypical people, all people, the diversity within the human species is vital to the survival of our species and for the survival of other species that we have power over. We have power over all species, unfortunately. So he says the article says across Britain, 15% of people are thought to be neurodivergent. By the way, I think it's a lot more than that, but this is what the article says.
A little bit higher.
Yeah. In the process of writing Neurodivergent by Nature, which is the book, Harkness discovered that an estimated 30% of conservation employees were neurodivergent. And so he says, why? And I mean, we know why.
We know why, yeah.
We know why, but let's see what he says. People like myself, especially those who are undiagnosed, probably found nature was their balm from a mental health perspective. Yeah,
totally
says
agree.
Harkness. When we meet beneath an awesomely peaceful ancient oak close to his home in rural Norfolk. This is the article. The other thing is we're different from what we'd define as neurotypical people. Therefore, we like more odd things. Special interest, nature, lends itself to people who are different. Well, there's more to the article, but essentially that's what we wanted to focus on was that idea that, you know, at least 30%, I think it's more, of conservation employees are neurodivergent. And it doesn't really surprise me. And I think the reason being is one, because of the obsessions, the hyperfocus. Again, I don't like the word obsessions, but it's a word that people use. But it's that hyperfocus. It's that need of completion. It's like, well, I've started this and I care enough about it, but my need for completion, my need for satisfaction in reaching my version of 100% is going to be hugely more detailed than a neurotypical. I remember I've called it in the past, it's called tree learning over forest learning. So you could just look at a big group of trees and go, well, that's a forest. That's what a neurotypical does. It saves time. They can crack on with their day.
They're called top-down processing.
Yeah, but a neurodivergent person needs to count all the trees, log them, you know, look at the different types of trees, look at the different types of seasons, all the animals. They need to know everything about that group of trees before they will call it a forest. And then they will know everything about that forest. It will just take a lot longer. And that's generally speaking how our brains work. This is why we are slow to do everything, because we are more detailed. So we will make sure that we do most things, especially things we care about. We will do them properly in our mind. We don't really half-arse it if we care about it. When we don't care,
completionism is so ingrained
big
in
time.
us
When
as
we
people.
don't care, that's the problem.
And what you're sort of explaining as well, when I think about like conservationism with neurodivergent people, bottom-up processing is how so many of us view the world. You know, like you were saying, this sort of tree learning, forest learning, but also as well, as a people, we're data gatherers. We want to spend time in our special interests, gathering information about it, learning more, understanding it. But also as well, so many of us, I know, especially I do, have very strong justice sensitivity, and we want to protect things and look after things and preserve things that we care about. So all of these things coming together with, you know, this alternative neurotype makes total sense to me that our people are going to be heavily ingrained in conservationism.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sophie, how many years? Too many years. 16 years. 16 years ago, Sophie and I visited the Brighton Sea Life Centre, the aquarium in Brighton. And turtles had always been one of my absolute favourite animals, and definitely my favourite sea creature. And I couldn't wait to show my teeny tiny daughter the turtles for the first time, because they've got now three giant sea turtles down there.
Technically, there aren't 4 turtles, but
yeah, there's only 3.
We'll let it slide.
We'll let it slide. Yeah, just chuck another one in there. I need the numbers. So I took this little teeny tiny Sophie, carried her in my arms, and I took her around, and she was fascinated by all the fish. And I did that very autistic thing where I was like reading everything to her and teaching her everything. And there was a fun game that they'd given the kids to do, which was you had to find a Lego piece, a little Lego person. And if you found the Lego person in one of the tanks, you win a prize. So because of our very, very autistic brains, we were looking for a literal teeny tiny little Lego man, right? So we looked everywhere. And because we were looking in such detail, we were looking for this thing. We were like, we're going to find it. We're going to find it. Because of that, we spent so long in there, and everything just was more detailed for Sophie because she had that focus of trying to find this little dude. Went around the whole place, right? Loved every minute of it. Yeah. And we couldn't find it, could we?
We did find it in there.
Right, I know that, but why could we not find it?
It's because it was massive.
Because it was huge.
It's like a really, really big Lego man that we we thought we were looking for a really tiny one.
We walked past it. We walked past this giant Lego man in this tank and didn't see it.
But you were like, that's not a Lego man. Lego man's tiny.
If I'd even seen it, it didn't even register in our brains because we were so hyper-focused on finding a small Lego man that it didn't even register that it was even a thing. It's not like we saw it and dismissed it. I don't even remember seeing it. And the only reason we found it because I was like, I went to the little person who worked there and I was like, we have looked everywhere. And they were like, oh, it's that massive one over there. I'm like,
You're like, which one? And it's like going, oh.
I was a bit like annoyed. I was like, that is not what this piece of paper says. It says Lego man. It did not say giant Lego man. And it was like, yeah,
be
autism.
more specific on your Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, exactly. So we went and we picked up the prize, and it was a tiny plastic shark. And Sophie's face was like, oh. And
I was not a shark girl.
No.
There are shark people, but I was not one.
Yeah. And my daughter looked at me with her huge, huge eyes, and I melted, as I always do. And I bought her a cuddly turtle with huge, huge eyes, just like Sophie. A very, very cute turtle cuddly toy, which has become your main cuddly toy ever, isn't it?
Yeah, I sleep every night with that cuddly toy still. Like,
what's his name?
His name Turtley. Very original.
Yeah,
yes.
Very original name.
It's got to have a Y on the end, otherwise is it a teddy?
Yeah.
I've got a little crocodile just above my head now, and he's called Snappy.
Yeah.
You're going to say crocodile.
Crocky, alligator. It's not even an alligator.
Well, I've got a deer and his name's Bucky, so...
Yeah. What's the Y? Needs a Y.
Yeah.
But that sounds about right.
So from that day on, Sophie was then obsessed with turtles.
The thing is, I wouldn't say it was like what you would stereotypically think an autistic person is obsessed with a subject like. It's not like my partner Christopher, who he will find out every factual piece of information about a seagull, and now he knows everything about seagulls. And he can tell you the species and tell you, they're mating and they're doing this certain behavior for it, and he knows everything like that. It was more exactly like you said earlier about this passion for justice. That I thought these animals were so beautiful and so graceful and amazing that the thought of them ever being harmed or them not being able to nest because of what we're doing to, you know, beaches and we're making it all urbanized and everything, I thought that was, you know, awful. And I really, really wanted to be part of fixing that problem and looking after them. So it definitely came from a passion and an autistic obsession in looking after them and protecting them, the justice part for me. You know, that's definitely how I work. I'm not a want to learn every single fact. I'm a, this is something wrong. I would do everything in my power from now to learn everything I need to, so one day I can be part of fixing this sort of thing.
That makes a lot of sense, really, because I have known people like that in different aspects and fields. It's like they're either obsessed with the thing or they're obsessed with protecting the thing.
Yeah.
And it's almost a very like sort of cultural community synergy, because you're protecting it for somebody who is detail orientated and wants to know everything about turtles. How could you have a special interest with turtles if there aren't any?
Exactly. Having all kind of aspects to like a team trying to protect something or look after something is really, really important. I feel like that's what a lot of people academically like don't understand or miss out on, is sometimes you're someone like me, I'm not gonna always know everything and understand everything and my processing and how my brain works, but I have the passion and I have the enthusiasm and I have the will to make something happen, and you need people like that, and we all need to kind of come together to be able to fix problems, things like that. But that's also comes from being very neurodivergent in my mind, like I want to fix this, I want to fix this, I will spend all of my years in an education system that I do not like, it does not work for me, because I'm going to do this. And it's very like black and white in my head. It's just like I have to go and do it.
But relating it back,
she took that hyper focus, and ever since she was little, she was like, I'm going to save turtles, I'm going to save turtles, I'm going to work with turtles, I'm going to rescue turtles. And obviously we were like, that's amazing. And that's amazing. But you know, you're like 5-6 years old and sure, whatever. And I loved that she was like that. And I was like, that's amazing. That's so cool. So I nurtured that. And when she went and did her GCSEs and then her A levels, and everything was focused on, you're going to do some sort of biology, whether it's evolutionary or whether it's marine biology or whether it's zoology. It was always focused on science with animals. And she just did all the work. Like we supported her as best we could. But my God, that focus, that drive, that got her through all your difficulties through school, didn't it?
Because all I could picture in my head is, when I'm older, I want to end up on a beach doing work for turtles. I didn't really know what that meant or what it meant to get there. Found out what you have to do to get there. It's quite hard and difficult. You have to take a lot of biology. I took chemistry A level. I then, did my marine biology degree. And every step to get there, I was like, oh, I have to learn that.
It's a lot more to just...
I just really want to work with turtles one day. So I was like, well, I guess that's what I'm just going to have to do, because, my head it knows where I want to be, and I will go and do it. So
I think that's really interesting, because I have that sort of thinking with, and then it's funny, isn't it, how we're all so similar but so different. I have always been obsessed with storytelling, whether it's us just having a conversation about conservationism, put your teeth in, you know what I mean? Or like theatre or TV or film or whatever. I have just loved the medium of telling a story over a microphone. And everything else felt like such a downgrade. If I wasn't doing this, I can't see myself doing anything else.
Yeah.
And the idea of doing something else isn't that it's like, oh, it's disappointing, it's uncomfortable. It's alien. It's poisonous. Doing anything other than what I think my brain and my soul, my special interests are telling me to do is alien. And it's hard to live with. So I think, conservationism is so important, especially with the way that the world's going. But I can't imagine any better people to work in it than justice sensitive, hyper-focused, neurodivergent, special interest people, because they know more than anybody else. They feel more than anybody else. And anything else, they can't imagine themselves doing anything else. So just let them.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting. There's a million things I could think of doing in my life because I love them, I'm interested in them, I have lots of many different hobbies and passions and stuff that I can be good at. And it's weird because I don't think science has ever been what I'm naturally good at. But I think in my head, like you said, conservation is so, so important that I'm like, well, I need to go and do this. I can't picture myself doing anything else because I think or I feel like I need to go and do this because my special interest, my obsession, my passion is to go and fix what is being constantly broken all the time and being kind of ripped apart and taken advantage of. I want to go and fix that. And I will do everything in my power to learn and be educated to be able to go and do that.
I think so many of us as a people as well, and I've heard this repeated, well, if you're not going to do it, it's going to have to be me. I think so many of us feel that internal drive. I do. When I put this podcast together and approached Jordan, I was like, no one's making the show that I want to listen to. It's going to have to be me. And I think so many of us are followed, driven by that internal sort of monologue. I mean, there's a difference between thinking about wanting to do something and going to bed and it's the only thing that you can sort of close your eyes to. And, I think it's so important, so important to have people with that mindset and that sort of heart in these fields, because the reason as to why this is needed is because people have done it for ego rather than the cause. Urbanization, like late stage capitalism and everything, it's all ego driven. So what you're doing is with a, it's a selfless purpose, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's why it's so important to have neurodivergence within the diversity of our species, is simply because that's how most things get done. So if we all just like sat around and went, oh yeah, I mean, we've always done it like that, and everything's fine, and
stuck to not challenge the norm at all.
It is what it is. That sort of attitude, and I'm not having a neurodivergent versus neurotypicals thing. Neurotypicals and neurodivergent people will work together. We've always tried to, at the least, work together, because it's when we work together as a species, different variants of this Homo species, that's when things get done. That's when good things get done. That's when bad things get done. Neurodivergent people are responsible for a lot of bad things happening science-wise, but neurodivergent people are responsible for amazing discoveries and amazing things. And it is that hyperfocus. It is that sense of justice that drives us to try and make things better. And ironically, I think a lot of the bad things that have happened with neurodivergent people was due to being manipulated, due to being coerced. Take Oppenheimer, just for one example.
You read my mind.
He was coerced. He was tricked into believing that what he was doing was saving lives. And it was after that he realized that what he'd done had cost lives. He was inconsolable. Like, it ruined his life because of what he realized that he'd done. So it's people just taking advantage of us as well. And I think that I've been so fortunate to see Sophie's journey, to watch it as not only as a parent, but as a friend. You know, my daughter is my friend. She's my little buddy, you know, she's my mini me. And to watch her flourish and watch her get through some of the really, really difficult stuff that she's gone through, stuff that to this day, and I think for all time, I'm going to feel hard on myself that I couldn't do more to help her because she was so far away. But just knowing that drive, that thing of, oh, I'm going to get on that beach with those turtles, managed to help Sophie get through so many difficult things. And I took a picture after COVID of the abandoned Western Pier in Brighton. And it was overexposed when I took it. So it was too bright. But what I did with that particular picture, that when I overexposed it, rather than dismiss it, I darkened the area of the pier and I brightened everything around it. So it's a white background completely blown out, and it's just the pier in a black center. So it's almost like black and white, even though it was color at the time. And that picture I called hyperfocus because I do not like Brighton. It is very, very busy. It's a very busy place. And after COVID and everyone was allowed back, it was extra busy. Plus, I wasn't used to massive crowds because I'd been away from them for so long. And I took my camera to Brighton, and where we parked was at the top of the marina. And it was quite a walk down to the Western Pier. I had to walk past the current pier and had to walk all the way to the Western Pier. And it was really crowded, really busy. But I kept looking at that pier. And I had my camera, I had my tripod, and I just walked. And I got through all that crowd. Now, that is a minuscule thing compared to what Sophie's gone through, but it's the same ability that we have of I can see it, and no matter what obstacle is in my way, I will find a way to get to that destination, whether it's a destination of a dream you have, a goal you have, or something you can physically see. I will do everything I can to reach that goal. That's our ability. That's our amazing power that we have. It's just imagine if every neurodivergent person had supportive people like Sylvia and I supported Sophie, and Sophie in many times has supported me, and Sylvia has supported me. Imagine if we all supported each other instead of belittling and ostracizing. Just imagine what we could achieve.
I think sometimes, like, I almost felt like I was coming across as quite delusional at uni, because I did think, like, how am I here? Like, how have I got here? Because sometimes when I was around the people on my course, I didn't really get on with the people on my course at all. I didn't make any friends. And I just felt so different to everyone in terms of, like, why I was there. And I felt like a lot of the other people were like, they had quite academic families and they were just kind of doing, you know, like passing it through the family and like knowing that neither of my parents went to university and I'm just like here because I really like turtles was kind of like, oh, should I be here? I don't
Imposter
know.
syndrome is
yeah, and it was really, really hard. And my campus was for bioscience students at my university. And like a lot of those students were definitely neurodivergent. And I just think it would have been so great if in these places and even in the industries, if they, you know, could recognize how many neurodivergent people they had and how many of those neurodivergent people really, really have special interests, how you could use it in these industries with all these problems we're having, with all the challenges we're facing. And it's a perfect example, like during my dissertation, everyone just gets assigned a random dissertation instead of like choosing your own dissertation, not in terms of, but like being given the choice and then being like, right, I'm really passionate about this. I know I could work really well on this. And I remember being given my dissertation. I had to work in a group, which I don't like working in groups. And I had to work on something I just wasn't interested in at all. And I remember going to one of the people organizing it all, and I just said, look, you know, I'm autistic. I have a special interest in sea turtles specifically. I know I could work so much better and produce some actually really good, insightful work if you gave me a project on sea turtles, which I know some other people were given data and a project on. And I was like, this was meant for me. We ended up having like basically an argument about it. And she was like, oh, well, you can't just choose what you want to do and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking like if we understood neurodivergence more and how useful these brains are, especially someone like Christopher, who did a business and environment degree and ended up writing his whole dissertation on seagulls because he's obsessed with seagulls and he got to choose his own dissertation. It was amazing. We could do amazing, incredible things. And I just think it's such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and do you know what? I am testimony to that. I did a drama degree that was laid out exactly how you're describing it. Got a 2-1, but did not enjoy it. Did a master's degree where they went, go. Don't have to work with anybody. Work on your own. Make what you want. I came out with a first overall, high distinction, really high grades. I did my dissertation on what I wanted to do it on. I did my 15-minute audio piece on a documentary about wrestling. And then I did a 10-minute piece and they were like, you have to do a radio drama. I went, oh, thank God, because I was going to make one anyway. And just sort of did it like that. I did my 5-minute piece about tattoo artists and everything gave me artistic license. And just because you're not working in the arts doesn't mean you can't be an artist in your field. And that's what so many of us need. We need the ability to have a paintbrush, have the paints we want to paint with, and leave us the hell alone to do it. And we'll make something special.
Yeah.
But you try and fit a square peg in a round hole, it isn't going to work. You have to understand you've got a square peg and give it the opportunity to find its place, because that's where the best things happen. It frustrates me, the education system, because they don't learn.
You know, hopefully we can get a point to where they're understanding things more. Like I went to my the support team at uni and I explained to them, please stop doing dissertations like this. It doesn't work. You could be creating an amazing work. You could be getting people to do more masters and things if you exactly like you said, gave them the paintbrush and you gave them choice and you really, really worked with the neurodivergent people that you know are neurodivergent. At least work with them first. And you know, we could be doing amazing things. But I even think in group work, a lot of neurodivergent people don't get taken seriously. And again, like if just individual people could see like, okay, this person's really good at doing this. Maybe the other things they're not really good at doing. Let's use everyone's best assets and create something amazing. And so I'm glad that, you know, I pushed through everything I did, because I think one day I'm going to do something good in my own way. Maybe it won't be data collection. Maybe it won't be analyzing things, but maybe it will be, you know, spreading the word. Maybe it will be education. Maybe it will be doing something, being able to do some sort of conservation work that I am able to do that other people aren't, you know, through articulation or social media. Who knows, you know, but I'm glad I went and did it and didn't let any of like the voices or the imposter syndrome get to me. And I did push through it.
Well, not only that,
I'm
but
very autistic and I wanted to work with a turtle one day.
But now you're going to get to, aren't you?
Yes.
Already. So you just got your 2-1 in marine biology and you've already got your first assignment, haven't you?
Yes. I'm going to Egypt for 4 months doing an internship in the Red Sea.
Wow.
going to be amazing. And Sylvia and I are going to go out there and for a week and see her in action, and just being able to experience that with her and see my amazing daughter just live out her dream already with that hyperfocus. It's incredible. You're incredible, Sophie. You are incredible. And you are a shining beacon to all the neurodivergent people out there who think that they're not good enough. Because let me tell you now, folks, you are all good enough. You just need to believe in yourself. And I know that sounds cheesy, but it is true. You have to not listen to that imposter syndrome. You have to not listen to the other people who are trying to bring you down, because that's envy, that's stupidity, that's ignorance. You need to listen to yourself and believe in yourself.
Yeah, and I'll finish on this, folks. You've already done good, Sophie, by having this conversation, but somebody will listen to it and feel inspired by it. And I can talk from my own testimony. I've always wanted to do my own podcast. Desperate. Done it for other people. Always wanted it to be me. Sort of been adjacent. And the only reason it didn't happen is because I didn't believe in myself. The worst bully I've ever had is me. And don't stop yourself from doing it. If you want to do it, no matter what we've got going on, because we've all got something going on, don't tell yourself you can't do it, because you can. It's other people that will tell you, and they aren't you. Stick to what you know. Trust yourself. Trust that you can do it, and good things will happen. Because we're proof of it. We're living proof of it. And you look at the people that truly love what they do, and it loves them back if you let it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Slay
Queen. Right, and on that note, thank you so much for listening, everybody. It's been a wonderful conversation on conservationism, and really looking forward to seeing what you get up to, Sophie. Please share some photos with me, because I'd love to see where you're at, and we'll have you back when you are back. That would be wonderful.
One last thing, Sophie actually does mentoring for teens and young adults in the spectrum. So if anyone is interested, how can they get hold of you, Sophie? Because you are now very busy and successful as a mentor as well.
You can check out my Facebook page, Sophie James, and message me. Or you can email me, sophiejamesmentoring@outlook.co.uk, and just ask me for any information.
We fully endorse this message.
You have been fully endorsed.
You are fully endorsed. Sophie is incredible. I tried mentoring once. I sucked at it. I was not good. I'm good at talking to people. I'm not good at listening. But Sophie is incredible. She has so many clients. They keep coming back, and she is changing lives, and just all of this on top of saving turtles. Oh my God, that's my daughter.
For the rest of us. Damn.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
Nah, you're a rock star. You're an absolute rock star.
Fucking rock star. Get in there. Anyway, bye everyone.
Bye everyone.
Nightly bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparked something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.